The Great War has been raging around the world for well over 3 years now, and in Russia, the discontent against the war effort and the monarchy has ignited in the form of revolution. The two bodies behind the revolution, the Duma and the Petrograd Soviet, are only able to agree on one thing: ending the Tsar's autocracy. So once the Tsar is overthrown, disagreements about the war effort and the future of the government are rife. The Duma holds legitimacy and formal authority. It's committed to Russia's involvement in the war, advocating for gradual reforms while maintaining control over factories and military hierarchies. Whereas the Petrograd Soviet holds more influence over the lower class and the military, giving them more power. They oppose the war effort and demand instant reforms such as land distribution and the workers' control over their workplaces. However, there is one man who is respected in both of these parties and is able to keep the peace in this dual power struggle: Alexander Kerensky. His importance results in his appointment to Minister of War, a significant role in the provisional government consumed by the Great War. And with Allied pressure mounting on Russia, he announces the Kerensky Offensive, aimed at improving morale among the soldiers while also trying to occupy Galicia, currently occupied by Austria-Hungary. But this offensive would spell disaster for Russia, leading to the loss of yet more men and more land. It was obvious that the Russian army was in no shape to continue the war, with mutinies and desertions rampant along the whole front, leading to even deeper divisions between the coalition, which eventually collapsed on July the 2nd, paving the way for Kerensky to assume the role of Prime Minister on the 21st. However, his term would not last long. The Bolsheviks, who were empowered by Kerensky to crush a military coup, managed to also crush any opposition that Kerensky could use against them. A second revolution was stirring, one that Kerensky was now defenseless against, and it would take place in October. The October Revolution, or the Second Russian Revolution, would see Kerensky flee and exiled from Russia, living out the rest of his days in Paris and New York, where he died in 1970. But in this game, things have gone a little differently. Russia won World War I, and Kerensky was forced to flee to Vladivostok and Manchuria. Breaking away from mainland Russia, he remains in charge of the fledgling state of Zolotorossiya, where I attempt to reunite Russia under the banner of the Russian People's Republic. Hi, I'm Colonel Cam, and welcome to 8 years forming the Russian People's Republic in Red Flood. Hello guys, I spent like 3 hours trying to figure out what I was even going to write about for the intro of this video, because this mod is so outrageously ahistorical. The only historical element that I thought I could write about was Kerensky, because he's in charge of this country. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it or learned something new. I for sure did, and if you did, subscribe, okay? Because you might learn something new every time I make a video, which is, something worth subscribing for. A lot more than some of the slop the other Hoi4 YouTubers put. Anyway, like and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Our country is apparently the one haven of freedom, as it says here in this national spirit. And well, I have descended from the heavens to ruin it. Sounds good. At least we start on extensive conscription and early mob. So we don't have to start on like civilian economy. We're ready. We're already ready for war. The Exunt. Just giving you guys a heads up, this year has quite a bit of reading in it. Obviously, I'm going to condense it and make it as interesting as possible, which it is, but if you're not interested in any of the lore, skip to this time on screen, which is 1937. Kerensky awoke from slumber still exhausted. Last week was a cavalcade of New Year's celebrations and parties. That something was going disastrously wrong that he could not see. Now Tokyo has decided it needs to terrorize China. A storm was brewing in Asia, and he would be its victim. It goes on about how he's got a feeling of dread and something terrible is going to happen in Asia. He's not wrong. Lev Kamenev sat tearfully in his office. His mentor, his comrade, and most importantly, his friend was dead. Time passed. He should have been ready for this day. No man is immortal, and 65 was not a spry age. Yet he had always held the hope that once the Republic completed its trek westward to occupy Moscow and Petrograd, he would be able to go to Germany and see his friend's face once more. Now that would never happen. He expected to see his fellow party members in a solemn mood, obviously not as broken up as him, but still somewhat somber. Instead, no one seemed particularly bothered. Occasionally, some seemed almost cheerful. Every light-hearted expression, smile, every face in this office convinced him of one thing. The Bolsheviks were beyond saving. All the energy spent mourning his friend would be transformed into something new. He was hatching a plan, and he knew exactly what needed to be done. Lenin dead. So he's friends with Lenin. That's who died, Lev. So Lev was friends with Lenin. So Lev isn't happy with how disunited the party is, so he goes to someone called Maria, and then this is what happens when they meet each other. Guys, this is like TNO how much reading there is. Maria Alexandrovna. Oh, hello Lev. What gives me the honor to see you? I have a proposition for you, but before discussing it in detail, could we please get to a private area? When they got to her office, the man seemed to be almost in tears. So what did you want to tell me that needed this level of privacy? Well, I believe we have a common interest which transcends party lines, that being the dismantling of the Bolsheviks. Sprindova was taken aback by this. Why on earth would Kamenev want to dismantle his own party? The RSDRP is rotten to its core. It has strayed far beyond Lenin's understanding of Marxism, but more importantly, while you and I have many disagreements on how the OLN now seems to be the only party that actually wants to achieve a revolution of and by the working class, Kamenev certainly seemed sincere, but what if what he was saying was true? Then he can only peel off a small portion of the RSDRP at best. You make an excellent point, Lev. In fact, it almost makes me wonder why you didn't come to me sooner. Well, I'm not worried about Japan. Japan are going to go into a civil war, so we know that's okay. Volgodonov could not just put his finger on it. Over the last few months, something was happening. More cross-party meetings, more whispers in the Soviets, and tension laid over it all. A secretary knocked on his door and interpreted his thoughts. He invited the secretary in and she entered the room with a manic energy, words coming out faster than could be organized. But there's been news from Tokyo, sir. Something's happened. They're shooting. There's a war, sir. Was she stupid? Obviously Japan was waging a war. It had been for months now. Yes, there's a war in China. Any other news? No, I mean there's a war in Tokyo, a civil war, sir. Workers have risen up all over the country in protest of the war. The army's gone home to crush it. In an instant, everything changed. Without Japan, nothing could be secure. Everything was possible. So much writing, guys. It's like TNO. But I'm actually invested. Unlike when I played Mexico and TNO, I'm just not invested in that. Because of this major shift in geopolitics in Asia, Kerensky is feeling very nervous, as he should be, because a group of 3 men of the Bolshevik party are planning to overthrow him. Contingencies. Fedor, Dan, and Nikolai did not know what they had assembled in today's lodge, only that the Trudovik representative that called them seemed rushed and panicked. He sat down and began to speak to them. I'm sure you're wondering why I've assembled you here today. I have a good and bad news. Well, only bad news for me, but I have good news for you. I cannot explain to you why, but Kerensky tells me that in the coming months there might be some problems in Zelatorossia. He's worried that in the face of what might happen, there could be a revolution. What I'm asking of you two, and why it might be good news for you, is that the event of revolution to form a 3-part coalition between the PSR, Mensheviks, and Trudoviks. Both the Mensheviks and the PSR were opposition parties who never had much influence in the Supreme Soviet. If they could utilize the connections of the Trudovik establishment, they could finally outshine the more radical and popular OLN and Bolsheviks. And so this coalition between the Trudoviks, Mensheviks, and the PSR is going to be called the Triumvirate, and this is the path that I'm going down. They plan to overthrow the Bolsheviks and the Social Democrats, and Kerensky is going to predict this, and he's extremely paranoid right now. I'm still determining what I should do. Should I flee? Should I stay? Should I resign? Kerensky stammered on, "They want to lynch me, just look outside." So Kerensky is now making some speech to the Soviet or some political figures, and I have a decision. Either he can stand down or resign in the face of adversity, or not stand down and try and fight the revolution. We're gonna do. The situation is beyond my control. Kerensky resigns. Earlier today, the leader of the Russian Republic, Kerensky, announced that he would hereby resign, calling for a new round of elections as soon as possible. Anyway, there's this new guy that comes into power, and let's just say he is not well equipped to deal with this. So his attempt at maintaining order fails. Radicalizing the Republic even further gets event the simplest thing in the world. Mylov seemed completely blindsided. Alyssa stood before him in his new office, telling him that soon he would be vacating it. That is not how the party sees it, and neither do I. You have bent over backwards to accept the demands of wreckers. How do we know you are not communing with Kerensky yourself? The party backs me. You are the one acting in treason. You cannot do this. You cannot. I am the minister chairman. I secured the position of the party. I am the only reason we are not facing an active revolution. The cold press of a steel revolver barrel cut his protest in half. Your crime is treason, your verdict is guilty, and your sentence is death. Objectivist ideologue. So she just killed the last guy, bro. The Fiery Forge. So much reading. I'm only halfway through the year, man, and I've been recording for an hour. Anyway, there was another event where Alyssa was trying to defend the palace for herself against a bunch of armed revolutionaries, like actual socialists, and she failed, and so the Triumvirate, or the leaders, have now actually infiltrated the palace. Workers of the Republic, it is time to seize your birthright. When you took up arms in 1905, what did the Tsar give you? When you took up arms in 1918, what did Kerensky give you? And now, with your arms aloft, what are the Soviets giving you? Marching towards the provisional government's building, tools held aloft in the sky, or the triumvirate has prevailed in the struggle for power. This is another option. I'm going to do this one. This is the Change popularity of revisionist socialism. Let's do it. The triumvirate succeeds. And so the triumvirate seizes power, and that's everything in 1936. That's all that happens. So on to 1937. Hello to those joining us who didn't want to go through the reading. Basically, Kerensky left the country, the guy who replaced him died, and now triumvirate government is in power, like the Mensheviks, the Trudoviks, and the PSR. And the Bolsheviks have been ousted as well, so yeah, hello. Russia is fighting... These guys were literally in a faction, like, last year. Anyway, I sent some volunteers to the Korean Civil War, but they would not last long, because the country to the north of us, the barren wasteland of Siberia, declared war on us. Oh, look at this. Semen Maslov. Efficient construction speed, research speed, factory output. Yes, sir. There's justification. The Far Eastern Slavic Republic is justifying against us. Let's prepare for that, I guess. We'll prepare for that. We'll get a defensive guy. Not sure why they declared war on us. They couldn't even cover the whole front line. The whole war was just me snaking around their divisions to their victory points. There's their capital. Gone. And what are they at? 100. That was enough. Cool. Alright. Just annex them straight up. That's easy. What the hell is this? Imperial authority? I would not have much time to relax, because as soon as that war was over, another one begun, with the other half of Siberia declaring war on us. Yo, we caught all of the Far East. Okay, nice. We got 2 mills. And again, these guys were not particularly too difficult. It's just Siberian. They don't have any manpower or anything. Whereas we have Manchuria and Vladivostok. You know, there's at least some people there. There may not be Russians, okay, but there's some people. Ugh, they're all out of supply. Fortunately, they were too. I mean, I couldn't imagine how anyone has supply in Siberia. So I started pushing anyway. I think I even built a supply hub and made it double motorized for the supply. Double motorized. There we go. Motorized the supply hub. And I'm just going to press go button. I think we'll be okay. Not where the mountains are, obviously. Division speed. Okay. Division organization, division defense. Let's go to division speed. I want to go faster because this is taking forever. I decided that my current plan wasn't working. I wasn't going anywhere, so I switched things up. I split my army into 2 equal groups, but I did the field marshal line where they're like separate from each other, and did a high concentration in the north where there's like less mountains. All right, here we go. I'm going to break through in the north here, like this. 13 divisions here, and then 13 divisions there. Oh, it's 1939. We're winning, but we're not winning. We're winning, but we're not. Aside from that little world, whatever the hell that was, it was actually working, and I was breaking through in the north. But the surrender limit for that country must have been abysmal, because, well, we took that province and they capitulated. We just defeated them like that. That was easy. That was so easy. I immediately went to fixing supply, because the last 2 countries declared war on me out of nowhere. I wanted to make sure I was ready. I think, oh, we'll take that, and then these guys are, no, this is the best course of action. This is actually the best course of action. It looks like I was going to jump the Empire first, because they're still at war with Kazan, and I thought, if they're at war with Kazan and the other one down there in the Caucasus, then there's no way they're going to be able to react to me in time. Should just be able to walk in. They got no divisions on the front line. Plus we got division speed, so it'll be insane. So I invaded, and initially it went very well, but I underestimated how close Kazan was to capitulating. It didn't take long for them to capitulate, and then the full weight of the Empire came onto me. We didn't make it very far on the surprise invasion, and they just defeated Kazan. Uh-oh. Suddenly, the front was way bigger than I could manage. I did have like a spare army covering Japan just in case they declared war on me, but they didn't. So, well, it doesn't matter if they did anyway, because I don't have any divisions there anymore, because guess what? I have to bring them over to Russia. Don't attack, just arrive and just try and hold a line. Fortunately, I managed to stabilize the front somewhat. Like, there were still gaps in my front line, but they weren't attacking. Oh, the Kavaz Society is fighting Russia. Oh, come on, guys. Sabotage the terrorists. Look at this. Weekly stability, factory output, resistance to target. Oh, for 200 days. Yes, sabotage the Russians. That's so good. I keep calling them the Russians as if we're not Russian too. They should be calling them like the monarchists or the fascists. Oh, that's a good. Wait, no, the Empire. I should be calling them the Empire. By the end of 1939, they had beaten the other one in the Caucasus, and now they're pushing against me, taking vital supply links and hubs. So I was out of supply and getting pushed back quite a bit. Unfortunately, like all of the other Russian warlords, my surrender limit is abysmal. So they didn't have to push me back all the way to Vladivostok to capitulate me, or Harbin, okay? No, they could capitulate me like halfway down across the country. Look at this, man. We're getting pushed back in slowly. It's really slow. No, I've got no supply right now. My god, 14th of March. There we go. There we got supply again. I had another plan of attack though. The neutral border of Transbaikal was looking very tempting for an encirclement. If I could just push to there, everything east of Barnaul and Novonokilovsk would be encircled. Do something like this. Encircle these guys. We might be okay. That might be one way to do it, just to stop this advancement into Central Asia. It's into Siberia. Oh, it's not good. Oh my god, they took that. That's the railroad that I build this right now. They're taking this province, man. If you couldn't have guessed, that is a vital province because it supplies like the entirety of my army near the Urals. I tried for the encirclement again, and this time I had some luck pulling it off. I got a something of the kind. Not as far west as I wanted to, but you know, it'll do. Let's go then. Let's just start attacking straight away. There's no point. They were trying to break out of it, but they're going the wrong way. One underrated aspect of this encirclement is that the other side was completely free and open for me to push into. They're on the last stand. Poor souls. Or at least those guys froze to death. Alright. Get on the front. My army now officially outnumbered the Empire, okay? I'm calling it the Empire. And pushing forwards was back on the cards. 1941, okay. I'm destined to do it this year. I'm destined to capitulate, or reunite Russia this year. I decided to do a frontal attack order on speed 5, and it seemed to be working, so I kept doing it. Next thing you know, apparently their surrender limit was awful too. I'm not surprised by this point, because they capitulated. Oh! Whoa, we did that so quick. I swear, like, we don't even have to take that much. And we get, like, oh my gosh. Okay. We're gonna have a bunch of manpower again, because we can core all that land. I'm gonna really up my production of stuff, and I'm gonna get the medium tanks. Now that we have cores on all of Russia, we're just way too OP. I've got so many factories, so much manpower, and my army can just be men with guns. I went down mass assault too, so it's actually insane. Oh my days. Alright, I'm going to invade Finland real quick. Wait, they're in the Intermarium, which are going to be absolutely no match for me. We could just destroy them easily. Young Russia, hail victorious. We're a different color. Russian people, hang on. The Triumvirate unifies Russia. Decided as a compromise, the Triumvirate was picked as the leader of the Russian Republic as a compromise between the Kerenskyites and outright socialists. Led by Fedor Dan, a self-proclaimed revisionist, Nikolai, and a more democratic member, and this guy, a Trudovic, the state now has sought to create a new society in Russia on the basis of moderated agrarian socialism. You know, this is probably the most sane path I've ever done in this mod. They are most sane people anyway. Look at this, we're like a nice purple. Look at the flag. Let's go, man. And then we can join the German faction and then help defeat accelerationist France. And so I declared war, and just like I said I would, I crushed everyone. Dude, I have so many research slots. I don't know what to do with these all. I mean, I can't be bothered making different stuff. It wasn't long before I took Warsaw and the Intermarium capitulated. Oh, there we go. There goes Belarus. Oh, it's over for them. No way we get there in time. Damn, shame. The capitulation will be next year. I've had the sneeziest day today. Bro, I've sneezed so much today. I don't know what it's with. Yep, there we go. 100%. Poland is done, and I get a peace deal, and I'm just gonna. Oh no, no peace deal. It's just cool. Full of the free city. Okay. Oh, you know what else we can do? We can now officially join. Where is it? Here, it's down here. Join the Rota Front. All right, Germany. We will join in your crusade against the League Solar. We're so OP right now, like, I think I can just make Germany win the war. I can win it for them. And there we are, at war with them. We're gonna be at war with Prussia soon. I pretty much just won the war for them, capitulating Sweden and Prussia. Then I moved on to France and just ran into their wall of defenses until they broke. The mass mobilization Russian strategy is insane. You just chuck a bunch of men on the front line, just human wave offensives. Works everywhere. Definitely, even in Ukraine, guys, definitely works. This is pure dopamine, just like clicking the go button, just seeing your army just run over the enemy. Pure dopamine. Right here. Oh. Oh. How have they not capitulated yet? They're done. There we go. I gave it all to Germany because I'm just a kind person like that, right? I got pretty much Sweden, so, you know, they can get France and Ireland and that. I would fight the Entente, but that does not benefit me in any way. I'm just helping Germany too much at that point. I was going to, and then they sunk my navy, so I just gave up. A bit of a shorter video today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.